Hi everyone, welcome to the Friday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Well, the President and Vice President of the United States visited Fort Campbell today. President Barack Obama flew into the local Army post on Air Force One to address troops that recently returned from Afghanistan, as well as to honor the Special Forces team that killed Osama bin Laden. Now, during his visit, Obama and Vice President Joe Biden privately met with members of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the group that operated the helicopters used in the raid, and with Navy SEAL Team 6, the unit that conducted the raid. Our reporter, Marie Fainter, has just returned from Fort Campbell. We'll have more on the President's visit and remarks coming up at 10 o'clock. A local mayor, some local attorneys, and a high school science teacher are among Governor Stephen Beshear's appointments to state boards and commissions this week. Hopkinsville Mayor Dan Kemp was appointed to the Commercial Mobile Radio Service Emergency Telecommunications Board of Kentucky. He'll represent the interest of commercial mobile radio service providers and will serve a term expiring August 15, 2014. 3 local attorneys were appointed to the Prosecutors Advisory Council. Marshall County Attorney Jeffrey Edwards of Benton will represent attorneys from other counties. Christian County Attorney Mike Foster of Hopkinsville will represent county attorneys from a first or second class city or urban county government. And 56th Judicial Circuit Commonwealth Attorney G.L. Ovey of Eddyville will represent Commonwealth attorneys from other counties. The governor also appointed high school science teacher Marie Renee McMillan of Murray to the Education Professional Standards Board. She represents secondary school teachers and will serve the remainder of Mary S. Hammond's term, who resigned. Well, in a story first reported at 10 last night, a Hopkinsville police officer was terminated after he was found guilty of dishonesty and insubordination by Hopkinsville City Council during a special called disciplinary hearing. The disciplinary hearing was for Hopkinsville police officer Lance Nosbush, who officials say was dishonest and insubordinate to his supervisors, Sergeant Scott Mays and Lieutenant Clayton Sumner. Nosbush was suspended without pay for reportedly working on his vacation day on March 31st to help a fellow officer with yard work, despite being told not to by his supervisors since he was placed on light duty because of a back injury that occurred while he was off duty. Now, during the hearing, Nosbush stated that he was never dishonest nor insubordinate to his supervisors. He also stated that he had told them what his intentions were while he was on vacation. Here's another story we brought you last night at 10. A Fort Campbell teen has been arrested and charged in connection with a bank robbery in Oak Grove Wednesday afternoon. Oak Grove Police Lieutenant Adam Vanderkolk says 19-year-old Jared Good of Denard Street was taken into custody yesterday afternoon in connection with the robbery at BB&T Bank on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Oak Grove. He said that a tip called into the Hopkinsville Police Department from individuals who saw the surveillance photo led to the identity of the 19-year-old. Hopkinsville Police, Oak Grove Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations went to the local Army post yesterday and interviewed Good, who gave enough information that he was arrested. Lieutenant Vanderkolk said Good was then detained by Fort Campbell Military Police before being turned over to investigators and transported to the Oak Grove Police Station, where during an interview he admitted to the robbery at the bank in Oak Grove. Police reportedly recovered a portion of the stolen money and charged Good with second-degree robbery, a Class C felony. According to Vanderkolk, the investigation is still ongoing and further arrests are expected. Now, even though Good was apprehended at Fort Campbell, police say he is not a member of the armed services. Marshall County officials are asking property owners to inform them of any property damage incurred from recent severe storms and flooding. Marshall County emergency management officials say this effort is vital to capturing information, which will be placed on a Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, damage report via the State Regional Coordination Center. The information will serve as a record of impact and will be forwarded to city governments for their information as well. Individuals who call the hotline will be prompted to leave their name, telephone number, and 911 designated address. All property owners who have suffered damage, including home, business, and agriculture, are encouraged to call the hotline at 270-527-8657, no matter where you live in Marshall County. As floodwaters continue to slowly recede at land between the Lakes National Recreation Area, some camping and lake access areas are reopening just in time for the weekend. LBL officials report lake levels for Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake crested Wednesday night and are currently at 372.4 feet, while many LBL boat ramps, campgrounds, lakeside campsites, trails, and roads are still closed due to flooding. The areas that opened today include Energy Lake Campground, some Fenton camping sites, Nickel Branch, Twin Lakes, and Star Camp. Turkey Bay off-highway vehicle area is still closed due to saturated soil conditions and current flooding, as well as Piney and Hillman Ferry campgrounds. LBL officials say all reservations affected by campground closures due to lake level flooding will be contacted by staff and you will be given full refunds. Visitors should observe all barricaded and closed areas for visitor safety. If you'd like more information, visit the website lbl.org. Hopkinsville Community College's 45th annual commencement ceremony will be held tonight. HCC President Jim Selby will preside over the ceremony and will also present graduation credentials to the class of 2011. According to HCC Registrar Ruth Ann Reddy, 584 HCC students have applied for 1,276 credentials, 448 two-year degrees, 770 certificates, and 58 diplomas. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Secretary and HCC alumnus Mike Hancock will be the guest speaker for the ceremony. The ceremony gets underway at 7 o'clock at the James E. Bruce Convention Center. Officials will stream the ceremony live online at hopkinsville.kctcs.edu. District 8 State Representative John Tilley visited Millbrook Elementary School students yesterday afternoon to discuss their work on how they are encouraging local residents and business owners to conserve energy by taking simple steps, like shutting off their computers when not in use. The 4th and 5th graders involved in the school's student technology program presented Tilley with their project called Why Not? Throughout the year, the 5 students collected data on why business owners and residents have been hesitant to recycle and conserve energy. Tilley told Source16 that he was amazed by the students' efforts.
Be more impressed. First of all, they gave this amazing presentation without notes. They're well informed, educated, and what they're doing is so important. They're really making the rest of us aware of things we can do to conserve and recycle and protect our environment. And at the same time, if you're, for instance, a business owner, which one of their keys was to go to businesses and convince a business how to meet their bottom line by saving some money.
The students will be presenting their project during a statewide competition with other technology leadership students on May 13th in Lexington. A Mayfield woman and 2 young girls were injured and a Western Kentucky parkway was shut down for over 2 hours after a pickup truck and semi crashed in Graves County last night. According to Kentucky State Police, 40-year-old Michael McFarland of South Fulton, Tennessee, was driving north on the Julian Carroll Purchase Parkway when a pickup truck driven by 58-year-old Julia Suter of Mayfield pulled onto the parkway via the Exit 22 U.S. Highway 80 ramp. Police say McFarland saw Suter entering the flow of traffic at a slow speed and was unable to avoid a collision, causing McFarland's semi to jackknife and block both northbound lanes of the parkway. Suter and her 2 passengers, 8-year-old Kelia Rogers and 6-year-old Michaela Rogers, both of Mayfield, were transported by ambulance to Jackson Purchase Medical Center, where they were treated for minor injuries. It's been a big week in Louisville leading up to the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, and today was no different as a wave of pink washed over Churchill Downs for the 137th Kentucky Oaks. Today was the 3rd consecutive year for the Kentucky Oaks Pink Out Day event, part of the Horses and Hope program founded by First Lady Jane Bashir and the Kentucky Cancer Program, where racegoers are asked to wear pink articles of clothing to raise breast cancer awareness. For each person who attended the races today, Churchill Downs officials donated $1 to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Churchill Downs also donated $1 to Horses and Hope for each of the Oaks signature Lily drinks sold throughout the day. Prior to the Oaks race, 137 breast cancer survivors chosen through an online nomination and voting process participated in the Survivors Parade as a reflection of race fan support for breast cancer survivors. Now, since the program was founded in 2008, Horses and Hope has hosted breast cancer race days at major racetracks across the state, including Ellis Park, Turfway Park, Churchill Downs, and Keeneland. Source 16's Jack Keys will have more on the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby, as well as the news on the latest scratch coming up in sports just a few minutes from now. Kentucky has selected ACT Incorporated as its vendor for end of course, or EOC, examinations for the state's public high school students. The contract period is from May 9th, 2011 to June 30th, 2012, and is for a total of over $5.4 million. Senate Bill 1 requires a new public school assessment program beginning in the 2011-12 school year. ACT Incorporated will provide assessments for English 2, Algebra 2, Biology, and U.S. History through its Quality Core program, which is syllabus-driven and will include curriculum and instruction support materials. The EOC assessments will be administered throughout the year as students earn credits in each course. In addition to the EOC assessment, Kentucky students in grades 10 and 11 also will complete writing assessments. Kentucky also contracts with ACT Incorporated to provide the educational planning and assessment system, which includes the ACT for 11th graders, Explore for 8th graders, and Plan for 10th graders. Fort Campbell soldiers deployed in Afghanistan can now further their education while fighting terrorism. 4th Brigade Combat Team Public Affairs Staff Sergeant Todd Christofferson reports Task Force Currahee leaders and Education Center personnel celebrated the grand opening of Sharana's Education Center. He says it's been 3 years in the making for the center, which first started out in a guard shack that is now a multi-room building. According to Christofferson, the building is one of 6 centers which will open in the next 5 months throughout Afghanistan. U.S. Army Continuing Education System Supervisor Norbert Renz of White Plains, New York, says education is becoming more and more important for soldiers to get promoted and to complete tasks in the military. The Education Center offers associate's, bachelor's, and master's degrees from the University of Maryland and Central Texas College. Well, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot's $12 million. Tomorrow night, here you go, Powerball, $50 million.